Oh, I must hit the record button before speaking. Hello and welcome back to the Ame Select server. I am Karakangara, and in the last episode we worked on building this big structure here. We got a nice shell going, and in this episode we're going to work on making this pyramid shell part of the landscape and not just some big ugly floating block above the surface. I mean, to be fair, it's still going to be a big ugly floating block because we aren't going to tackle that part yet. But what we are going to do is build the terraces and have them stretch from here down to, oh, let's say somewhere around in this little lake area here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do in this area yet, so I'll probably leave a lot of this open because this looks like a lot of space to just terrace all out and leave it alone. And across this backside over here, pretty much the whole temple is over top of this little valley, and so we're going to have to do something about that too. I think because I definitely want to keep building south a little bit. This hillside here is the southern edge of the temple city. So I want to just take and terrace this across and then slope it up to matching with the hills. And that will really pave the way for future building in this area for whatever I decide to do across here. Because I want to build something here. There's a lot of space, but I'm not sure what yet. And then on this side, of course, we're going to slope it down and match it up along the river also. And in the front here, we don't have a huge amount of space for terraces, but what this area is mostly going to be doing is being taken up by, that was the wrong block, being taken up by a special thing that we're going to do here. We're going to have a line of terraces going across, and it's going to have something like this. It's just kind of a rough idea. And these are going to be like statues representing warriors that'll be in formation going all the way around the temple. And I'm thinking about having it go down and stretch along the river line there, possibly in both directions, I'm not sure. And we'll see where they all go in the end, but I want to have quite a bit of them. And I really think that's going to add a lot of character to this temple and really make it stand out from the other temples as being the temple of the warrior. Alright, so when I threw down those two earlier real quick as an example, I realized that the gray block palette was matching too much with the gray of the temple, and I didn't really like that, so I threw down a few more to see how it would actually kind of look with my general idea of what it's going to look like. And I think that this gray here still really matches up too much with this over here. So I tried a little bit lighter gray, and it's still not there. So I'm going to have to play around with this idea more and see what I can make work. Well, it's been a few days since I've been recording last, and as you can see behind me, there's quite a bit of work done. So here in front, we really didn't have a whole lot of space, but we got in enough space for 2 rows or 2 terraces of the temple or of the warrior statues that I want to do. And I just realized that I need to lower this spot right here down by a block so that there's an offset between these 2 different terraces. And that'll make the warrior statues look better when I get them in. I did try doing some testing of the statues idea right there. And the gray of the statues were too close to the gray of the wall, and it kind of blended and didn't look good. So we are going to try something different. Ooh, I should use nether brick. That would make a lot of sense. This build doesn't have any nether brick in it yet, and all of my temples have nether brick in there as accents and details. So I should totally do that. Just like the nether brick stair linings there, and all the nether brick roofs. Well, this thing isn't going to have a roof, so I'm not going to have a nether brick roof on it. And I haven't figured out what I'm doing with the stairwells yet, so they might have nether brick, I'm not certain. But I could totally do the warrior statues in nether brick. Sometimes it really helps to just think through and talk it all out. You figure out things. Anyways, so I got the pathways in and put in a bunch of stairwells and so on to really allow access to the ball court and tying that into the surrounding areas so it's all connected together. And you can see it just runs right over here, and then you can run right up the back of these grandstands here. And yeah, so that's still needs a lot more work left to do, and it wasn't even part of my goal. But as I started working on this, I realized that it is interconnected to everything else, and that this temple is really right in the middle of everything. And that was really what was a challenge over on this side, is I decided to put in stairwells coming down from all four walls, or all four sides of the temple. And this one coming down came pretty much straight into a bridge that I wanted to connect up over here because I'm going to build like the docking, shipping boat area over here. And then this made the most sense for being a main entrance to the top of this hill over here. So I wanted to put this over here. And the bridge needs some work yet. The legs are too long and spindly. It looks good over in front of the storage temple over there as a small bridge, but over here is a bigger bridge, especially one that's set up higher. It needs some extra support in there to make it look right. So we will tackle that and add to it later, make this bridge look good, and add to this whole area over here, really. But yeah, connecting everything in was really the big challenge of most of these areas. And across the back here, I still have a lot of work left to do. This is mostly just bulk placement and sloping it up to match up with this hillside here. And this hillside originally came down, and then there was a little bit of a hill here that I shaved off, and then there was this like big hill right here covered in trees. And as I was cutting away the trees, I quickly realized that there was no hill here at all. It was just like a big dirt covered rock outcropping. So I stripped off the dirt, and I'm going to take and texture this and make it look awesome. And we're going to have a big rock outcropping back here that'll add some character to the area, and then a little rocky outcropping right here so it's not alone. And then we'll do some more rock outcroppings around the area to tie it all together and make it look better. This area right here is just like a big flat open area that we're gonna have to find something to do, and it stretches all the way down to down there. So I'm thinking I might expand the housing up and just keep it going across here all the way over to this area. Over here was a good challenge because you see how this whole, nice hill right here and all flat up there? Well, this was originally all valley right through here. So that's all manufactured terrain, and it's all just floating out over nothing. So that was a lot more bulk placement. But it ended up looking pretty good. And if we take a quick fly around, you can really see how it all is coming together. I have to say, adding the pass makes a huge difference just by itself, and really helps it connect up together with everything else. So, soon we will tackle the rest of this and get everything all terraformed up so that we can move on to the next stage. Even though I hate to leave a project half finished, we're going to cut here and we'll come back and tackle the rest of this landscaping later. I feel like it doesn't look like a lot of work, but it is a massive amount of bulk block placement and trying to figure out where to start and stop each of the levels of the terrace in order to keep them having lots of shape and depth and look good. And it just really eats up the time quickly. So we're out of time for this week, and we will come back and tackle the rest of this soon. So until I see you again, have fun gaming, and goodbye!